Hi, fourth grade, and welcome back to Math Mr. G. We're here today with week 5, day 4. We're going to be continuing our work with multi-step word problems and evaluating the different strategies that we need to really dive into these and pull them apart and make you as successful as possible with these longer questions. Today we're going to be continuing our work with those two-part questions where we have an A, a B, or even more than that, like let's say a C or a D, and how to organize your information and how to really tackle these using the cubes method and the different strategies we've been practicing up until now. What's interesting about these is they pull everything that we've learned in the last few weeks and combine them together into word problems. So if you ever get confused by any of the parts or the steps specifically that I might go over quickly, you can always go back into the weeks and find those strategies again and look at them more closely. Because remember, in this video, I'm going over kind of all of them not as fast as possible, but I'm covering all of them at once. If you get stuck, let's say, on rounding, or you get stuck on how I add larger numbers or how I multiply larger numbers, go back and watch those videos specifically. So without any more time, let's look at the first question. Let's put our cubes here to the side. Okay. So it says, on Sunday, 77,098 fans attended a New York Jets game. The same day, 3,397 more fans attended a New York Giants game. I like to hear that. Then attended the Jets game. Altogether, how many fans attended the games? And then we're looking for what was the actual number of fans who attended the games. Now let's tackle just this part before we look at B. Let's get A figured out before we even touch B. So let's cubes this. On Sunday, 77,098 fans attended a New York Jets game. The same day, 3,397 more fans attended a New York Giants game than attended the Jets game. Altogether, how many fans attended the games? Oh, did not mean to move that. There we go. So altogether is, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself there. That distracted me. Let's underline now. So we're talking about our unit as fans. Of course, not like, electric fans, but like people who are a fan of the game. We're talking about the New York Jets, and we're talking about the New York Giants. Go Giants. And then we're looking for altogether, which is going to be our addition. So it's like altogether really just means total. So they want to know what was the actual number of fans who attended the game. So this tells us that we're finding the total without rounding. And this is, of course, going to be adding. All right, so I'm going to build a chart for this, as you might have guessed already, to organize our information. I'm going to build it because we're going to have kind of longer because we have 3 parts. We have, of course, the Jets, the Giants, and our total. All right, let's put this down here in the middle. Let's label it. So we have Jets, Giants, and total. Okay. So we can go back to our cubes method. I've underlined. Oh, sorry about that. Did not mean to do that. Okay, perfect. So we've underlined. Now we can box what's being asked. So they want to know, of course, our total and the actual number, which in this case are going to be the same for us, but this is going to come into play with part B down here a little more close, or a little more specifically, or in different context rather. I'm not going to eliminate anything. It's kind of marked up a lot already. There's nothing that I necessarily need to eliminate. Now let's solve. Okay. Let's put our 77,098 here for fans. Let's find how many were in the Giants game. So 77,098, and we're adding 3,397. 8 plus 7 is 15. Carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 9 is 19. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. 1 plus 7 is 8. Okay, so there were 80,495 fans at just the Giants game, which is awesome. And now let's find the total. So let's add to this 80,000 here, since there's a little more space underneath it, and I can do it without being too messy, this number from the Giants games to find the total. sorry, from the Jets game and the Giants game. 5 plus 8 is 13, carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 9 is 19, carry the 1 again. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 0 is 5, put my comma down. 0 plus 7 is 7, 8 plus 7 is 15. Okay, so total number of people between both games is 157,593 fans. Okay, so that tells us the actual number of fans attended the games. It's in here as the total as well, but I'm actually going to rewrite this on the side just in case someone who's grading this or reading this might not necessarily know where to look with our chart, or they just want it somewhere very specifically. So I'm going to say the actual number of fans who attended was 157,593. And we'll circle that in red. Okay, so that's part A. Let's look at part B. So part B is asking, is our answer reasonable? Round each number to the nearest 1,000 to find an estimate of how many fans attended the games. So now I'm going to round these numbers in a way that we can check to see if this is a reasonable number. It's almost in a way just kind of using rounding to double check our answers. So what I'm going to do for this is build myself another chart, of course. Like so. And I'm just going to bring these numbers now down and reformat them. So I'm going to put our 77,098 here in this chart, 80,495 in this chart, and then our total, which was 157,593. Okay, so we need to round each number to the nearest 1,000 to find an estimate of how many fans attended the games. So let's round these. And again, I'm just doing this chart here to help us organize our information. So 77,098. I'm going to round this to the nearest 1,000. Okay, so we're going to round here. Look at the 7. Go next door. It's a 0, so my 7, I'm letting rest. It's staying the same. So rounded is 77,000. I'm going to say so far this is reasonable, this number. And I'm saying that because 77,098 and 77,000 are very close. You could say very closely, or very, very easily, you could say, well, there was about 77,000 people. And you wouldn't be off. It's only 98 people. And in a stadium filled with 77,000 people, 98 being off a little bit doesn't make it unreasonable. That's definitely a fair estimate to say. So our next one, which is 80,495. We're rounding a thousands place. Look next door. So I have a 4 there. It's 4 less, so I'm going to let that rest. So this becomes 80,000. And yeah, I'm going to say this is reasonable again, because again, even though that's 400, people off, about 400 people off, in a stadium filled with tens of thousands of people, almost 100,000 at this point with 80,000 people, being off by 400 doesn't make it unreasonable. Now let's do the same for our total, and let's see if this all checks out. So 157,593. Still rounding to thousands place, so I'm going to circle that. Look next door. That's 5 or more, so that's going to up my score. So remember, we keep the first two numbers. That 7's getting upped by 1 to an 8. Everything after it becomes a 0. Okay, so the estimate for the total is 158,000, but the actual total was 157,593. So the difference between those two is only about 400 people. And again, we're talking hundreds of people in a stadium, and now we're dealing with a total of 158,000 about. That's very reasonable. Absolutely, because that's a very small difference between the two. Okay, let's look at this one here. I love me a good chart question. So last year on Ted's farm, his 4 cows produced the following number of liters of milk. So we have Daisy, Betsy, Mary, and Buttercup. So we have all 4 cows, and we're missing Betsy. Betsy produced 986 more liters of milk than Buttercup. So let's cubes this guy. Let's circle important numbers. For this case, it's going to be 4 cows, so that's not their name. 986, and then 4 cows again. Let's underline. So we're dealing with liters is our measurement. We know more here means to add. So I'm doing liters, and we need to find all. So that means we're finding the total, which means we're adding. Excellent. Okay. So let's go from here. Let's find how much Betsy has. So 986 more than Buttercup. So Buttercup had 7,087. Let's add 986 to that, like so. 7 plus 6 is 13, carry the 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 8 is 17, carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, carry my 1. Great. 1 plus 7 is 8, so 8,073 for Betsy. Okay, so now I've got to find the total for all of these. So let's rewrite our 8,073, and let's add our Daisy, which is 5,098, like so. So 3 plus 8 is 11, carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 9 is 17, carry the 1. Bring down my 1 because there's just 2 zeros right there. 8 plus 5 is 13. There we go. Okay, I'm actually going to zoom in just a bit. There we go. All right. So we've added Daisy and Betsy. Now let's add Mary. Let's move over just a bit. Okay, so 13,171 plus 9,980. 1 plus 0 is 1. 7 plus 8 is 15. Carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 9 is 11. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 9 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 23,151. Now I just got to add Buttercup to that. And I got a little room underneath it, so I'm just going to do it there. 7,087 for our Buttercup. Okay, 1 plus 7 is 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 7 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, our total is 30,238. So I'm going to write that out. All 4 cows produced a total of 30,238 liters of milk. And let's circle that and run. Boom. Now, as always, if you had followed me this far, we're going to go over an example from our assessment. So let's cubes this. And do it way over here so we have some room to work. All right. McKenna has 34 stuffed animals. Kenley has twice as many as McKenna. How many stuffed animals do the 2 girls have in all? All right, let's circle our important numbers. 34. Twice is, of course, just like 2. And then the 2 girls. Let's underline. So our metric, our unit, is stuffed animals. Twice as many tells me that I'm multiplying for this one. Let's rewrite that multiplication, because it looks kind of like a squiggly more than it does a multiplication symbol. Perfect. And then we need to find out how many in all. And that tells me that we're adding both of these together. Okay. Let's box what's being asked.